problem is that according to the IEA 2021 global research, the carbon dioxide release is going to increase to 33 billion tons, which is 1.5 billion tons higher than in 2020. It is also the highest increase in quantity in the last decade. Starting from big factories through vehicles, everything releases CO2. People living their everyday lives tend to forget about the uniqueness of our planet.
See what the problem is. First of all, in order to replace the trees lost in the past decade, we should plant 130 million acres above the size of Peru. Planting and 130 acres of land would mean planting 14 billion trees yearly for 10 years in a row. This will mean that all the people on our planet should plant and take care of at least 2 trees in a year. Second one, traveling from Budapest to Brussels, which means 1.29 km and back by train, we produce 34,832 grams of carbon dioxide, while traveling by plane, we produce 709,080 grams of carbon dioxide. A healthy grown 50-year-old tree produces about 50 kg of oxygen and processes 68.75 kg of carbon dioxide in a year. On average, they vegetate for 240 days in a year. In comparison with the above, this means that when traveling by the train, the carbon dioxide release is elaborated by 0.5 trees, while when traveling by the plane, the carbon dioxide release is processed by the work of 10.31 healthy trees.
Third, a 40-year-old forest is able to filter out about 70 tons of polluting material from the air by acres. According to research, 1 cubic meter of a crown of a tree is able to filter out 4,500 grams of pollution from the air in one vegetation period. A 50-year-old tree is able to filter out 405 kg of polluting material in a year. According to the data of the German NGO, a German independent organization, Atmosphere, the return flight from London to Rome produces 234 kilograms of CO2 calculated to one passenger. The journey from London to New York produces 986 kilograms of pollution. In 56 countries around the world, the annual release of CO2 pollution of a person is less than this amount, from Burundi to Paraguay. The longest flight, which is from London to Perth, produces 3,153 kilograms of pollution per person on a return journey. The aim of our work is to create a type of mediatory company which, in order to compensate for the CO2 release, would work together with different tree planting companies or countries, cities, towns or settlements that would undertake to contribute to planting trees in order to decrease the pollution around the world. We would like to create a platform not only for companies but also for households where they will be able to join us.
Through a questionnaire, we asked a few quick questions for our families and friends. First of all, we have learned that the majority of the people in our environment are concerned about the environment. The second question sounded like this. Do you think it's important to try to reduce or offset carbon dioxide emission as much as possible? 68% of respondents said yes, while others were unsure. We got the most missed answers to question 3. If you produce as much carbon dioxide as you could offset by planting 10 trees during your one-year trip, would you undertake planting trees? Uncertain choices kept increasing.
On the other hand, it fills us with positive thoughts that almost 63% of our acquaintances are sure that if they had free space, they would decide to plant trees on it. On the last issue, we learned that an enormous amount would invest in our project in an intermediary company to reduce the huge amount of carbon dioxide in the world. Although we received mixed responses, we are still trying to encourage everyone to do something for our planet. That's our job, to help the next generation to create a new, smooth and useful thing, and run a company at the best prices. Breathe clean air. That is our goal.
Our aim is to draw people's attention to the importance of protecting the ecosystem, ecology and the earth.